and welcome to the NSA News You Can Use. Today we are joined by Monica Walford, CSP. She's going to talk to us about the alignment of the categories for membership. She was the chair of the Membership Task Force, who was talking about qualifications. Talk to us a little bit more about that, Monica.
Oh, what a labor of love and a great team effort of an entire task force to come together and help realign the membership categories to provide this wonderful progression and expanded methodology for more people to become a part of our organization.
Wow, so many questions I have to ask you. It sounds really powerful and really maybe a little different. Something changed a little bit. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, for our viewers, to provide some more detail of each of the categories that you're going to talk about?
Absolutely can do. And I'll address the first question, which was, sounds like something's changed.
Right.
There are a couple of things that have in fact changed with this realignment of the categories. At one time we had 6 categories. We now have 4. So we streamlined just a little. Those 4 groups are the Academy Member, the Professional Member, which is continuing in the vein it was initially. Third group is the Professional Affiliate Member, and then the Honorary Member. Applicable to the Academy Member, what's changed with this category? Well, it exists. Because before, we didn't have a way for those involved in our National Academy program to be considered in any way a member of our community. Those who participate monthly in our National Speakers Academy program now meet the qualifying criteria to become Academy members. So we're bringing them into the fold, we're welcoming them into the community officially. Now those who are in the chapter academy programs are still welcome, valued individuals who participate in our offerings. They have an opportunity to join both programs, the Chapter Speakers Academy program and the National, in order to meet that qualifying criteria to be an Academy member versus an Academy participant. The greater detail on Professional Member is that this category now has 3 subcategories. Number 1, it's qualified, which you and I both remember first initially qualifying for the Professional
Those 25
Member.
Listed down, and I was like, yes,
Absolutely. I got paid. Woo! 20 times. Who knew? The qualified member is our most populated category, certainly. And it has a number of different qualifying models and ways in which you can qualify, whether a salaried employee, contract trainer, whether someone who is the entrepreneurial business owner who is qualifying using the revenue and the frequency model. Second, though, subcategory in the Professional Member category is what we call certified. And not to be confused with certifiable, but certified. The certified member is a subgroup of the professional member, and they, of course, are the ones who have achieved the great honor of CSP, the Certified Speaking Professional. The third category is one that you and I have decades until we even need to discuss. Anytime. This third subcategory is what we now refer to as the Legacy Member. And this category is such a wonderful collection of our members who have been down that road, been around the block a time or two. This is not their first rodeo. Certainly I'm using this tongue in cheek. In technical discussion, the legacy member is one who is now at the decline of their career. So the way this continuum works is you can begin to be a member of NSA at the very beginning.
I love it.
Yeah, when you decide, I want to be a speaker, you become part of the National Speakers Academy and an Academy member. And then as you rise through the progression in your involvement in your own career, you go through the subcategories, qualified, perhaps certified, certainly we hope. And then as speakers begin to retire and still want to stay engaged with NSA, they would qualify for that legacy member category. There is age-specific criteria, 65 or over, must have been a member of NSA for 10 years or more, must provide no more than 15 speaking engagements per year. So there are certainly limitations on how much one can be in the speaking business, even if you're 85 and still speaking every day, you may not qualify for this category. The professional affiliate member also has their own category, and this is the category in which those who are suppliers, service providers, vendors now have a place to call their own. So being listed not only on the NSA website, where all this criteria will be found, the professional affiliate member will then also be listed in the supplier directory. The final category is the honorary category, and this is where we place those who've been bestowed or had the honor conferred upon them by our executive committee. Some key changes to be aware of. Simplistically and in its most nutshell format, there's 4 categories, 3 subcategories, and many more ways for members to stay engaged for a longer period of time.
Wow. But I love that you're so clear about it, and there's clear criteria, and I'm sure that there's a location. This is on the web so that they can look that up. Would you like to share that a little bit about that?
As of August 2015, when this officially is rolled out, all this information will be provided on the NSA website. The membership categories, the distinctions, the criteria, and I forgot to tell you, there are new logos for each
that's a really important
category.
piece for each one, isn't it?
The Academy member has their own logo, the Honorary Member, their own logo, the Professional Member, their own logo, as well as access to using the logo we've had for years. For the Professional Member, that has not changed. In addition, we've got logos for every category. So part of our upcoming phase of work for this particular task force is determining, well, now what happens when our members qualify for more than one category?
30% of our members are keynoters, and that used to be the majority. So it's every year it's changed. So that started there with the research that was done, identified that, and then from that identified that we needed to have a task force that would put together this all these wonderful categories and really make it a sequencing so that the Academy is brought into it. And I have to confess, and I know we've had this conversation, but this is a confession for the camera, really, is that
I won't tell anybody.
When I came on the board, I didn't know there was a National Academy.
Ah, yes.
I knew about CAVIT. I knew about the CAVIT, Institute, that it's at the National Convention, but I didn't know, and I actually was very embarrassed about that. So it's a confession. It's out there now, and
I won't tell.
Here's the beauty of that. So by bringing that piece of it into the membership categories, that gives the opportunity for everyone to know about it from the get-go. What has happened with the Academy piece is that we recognize how important that is to chapters, that some of them have their own academies as well. And that's the local academy. And to get both of the benefit of the national and the local, that's amazing to be able to have that.
And this helps bring those groups together. The National Academy certainly is a different program. More and more, and as we continue to progress through our strategic plan as a board, the national program and the local chapter Speakers Academy will continue to dovetail more and more, as I mentioned. That's a current initiative. Right now, they may be, frankly, seen as competition in some ways. They're not, and it's very viable, in fact, beneficial to those who go to our local gatherings, our chapter meetings, who wish to be professional speakers, may or may not yet qualify, to join both the Chapter Speakers Academy program and the National Speakers Academy program. There's 2 different pricings, there's 2 different offerings. One's online, the National Academy, just since I know you didn't have all those details, and the local Speakers Academy is that one-on-one, much more face-to-face, intense, guide on the side, coach, mentor. That's fast-tracking it, supplemented by the National Speakers Academy program. But there are so many offerings that the amount of information one could drink from a fire hose for months when you come into NSA is pretty astounding. I think these categories, as you've asked for more detail and as we've talked about them, serves a multi-fold purpose. We give more people more opportunities to officially be part of this amazing family. And we give more opportunities for individual commonalities of each group. So in the Academy, you've got people who are learning to build that business, whether it's second, third, or fourth, or fifth career for them. Right. The professional members, they have their own set of commonalities and war stories and, oh my gosh, did you do that? And wow. Then you have the valued subcategories, the qualified, certified, legacy. They've got their own set of stories. The honorary, they may or may not attend all of our events, but there's a lot of discussion in the honorary category as to how we may fortify the way in which we honor those people. It's a great continuum, and I think as we progress into the future of NSA, this provides some opportunities for us to continue to expand, grow, and offer more and more value.
There was a task force that did all this work. Tell me how that task force was formed.
The task force, and truly, when I say this is a team effort, in every sense of the word, the task force, and at this point it would be great to give thanks to the members of this amazing group of people. John Molidor, which we now refer to as Dr. Molidor, and the Molidorian effect, I should say. Patrick Henry, who is certainly filled with legacy and history in our association, has such valuable contributions. Chris Clark Epstein, who was a part of the original task force more than a decade ago, who changed membership categories way back when, that many members now are not familiar even with that process. We also had the privilege of working with Rochelle Rice, head of the CLC for this most recent year, and our staff liaison, Michelle Reynolds, director of member experiences. And what a joy and pleasurable experience it is to work with her on a task force. I simply had the privilege of chairing this team of people. And together, what we were able to come up with is direction, guidelines, oversight, benefits, a multitude of spreadsheets, if you want to know the truth, and a next phase of work building on John Molidor's work as chair of the segmentation task force. So this has been a decision, a change, a rollout at least 2 years in the making. This isn't something a task force designed, developed, and implemented in a vacuum in a dark closet somewhere hidden away. This has been board supported, board approved, and involved dozens of people over the last 2 years or more. We also polled about 45 of our members before finally putting the proposal forth to the board on these categories. Got that feedback in what Dr. Molidor refers to as a stratified random sample, and made sure that it was indeed research specific, and got all that data, which then helped us to understand from our membership what was needed, where they objected, where they had questions, and where we needed to continue to do some work.
And the purpose of this video is to really help two things. Not only for the individuals who are watching it to identify where they might fall and learn more about NSA, but then also so that they can speak to people who may be interested in NSA as well, because we are all ambassadors, and our goal is to spread the word, because we want every single speaker to be a member of the National Speakers Association, the premier organization for professional speakers.
Indeed. Thanks so much, Ruby.
Thank you.